you also see a massive amount of fakes. Oh my gosh, like they're all over Amazon. Don't kill me, I'm just saying my truth. I'm so glad I never bought it. Could I say I'm so glad I never bought from that brand? Possibly, but I'm so glad I never bought it. Hi everyone, welcome to another video. So, there are weirdly quite a few things, I think like 10 things that when I really think about it, I'm so glad I never bought them. And you know, I've been doing this thing for the last few years where if I think I want something, instead of impulse buying it, I walk away, I leave it, even if I feel really awkward, because sometimes, you know, when you go into these boutiques or any shop really, if you bother a salesperson and you get that salesperson to show you it, you feel pressure. Well, I do. Sometimes I feel pressure that I need to buy that item because I've just like wasted their time. But I kind of have thought that a lot in the last few years. And now what I do is if I think I want it, or if I'm not sure, I walk away, think about it, and then I leave it several weeks, sometimes even several months. So some of the things I'm so glad I never bought. First of all, Louis Vuitton. I have said before, I used to buy a lot of Louis Vuitton going back years ago when I started in my career to earn a little bit of money, and I was always into bags, and I used to buy the Louis Vuitton canvas pieces. And they're great, right? The good thing about them is they're good in all weathers. But I'm so glad I haven't bought any more of it because I've really gone off it in recent years. And I think something that's really turned me off it, and I know I've actually had, don't kill me for this, because I actually have had a lot of you in the comments section and on email when you write to me saying the same thing, but it's the fake market. I was talking to one of you, Kimberly. Okay, Kimberly, if you're watching, Kimberly is a subscriber that came to the UK on holiday, and I met with her in Harrods and we had a chat. And you were saying that you were looking to buy the Louis Vuitton Speedy, but when you saw it in the shop, it looked like a fake off Amazon. And as we were talking about this, there was a customer behind Kimberly who happened to be looking at the same bag, and I think it was in the 30 size you were looking at, but the one that the lady was looking at was a 25. And when the salesperson opened it from its packaging, it was all crinkled, it was all inwards on itself, it looked very sad. It didn't look like a bag that was worth any more than £20. Don't kill me, I'm just saying my truth, is that I feel the canvas has been ruined by the fake market, particularly the monogram. Not so much the damier, although that one even still, but particularly the monogram. I feel like it's been ruined. And I'm just glad I haven't bought more of them because I don't feel that they're worth their money. That's really what it comes down to. Now with me now, something that's really changed in me is that I only buy it if I think it looks like it's worth the hard-earned money that I've had to work to save, to spend on that item. And with Louis Vuitton, particularly with their canvas pieces, I don't feel that they look premium. I don't feel that they look their price. And so I'm really glad that I haven't bought any more Louis Vuitton. The next thing is Chanel. So I am a massive Chanel fan, huge. But I won't deny their price rises over the last, say, 3 years, maybe a bit more, but definitely the last 3 years since COVID, their price rises have put me off. For the reason being that, again, I'm coming back to that point I made earlier. If I feel like something's worth it, I'll spend the money. If I look at a product and I'm like, you don't look £10,000, I won't do it. And the Chanel Classic Flaps are bags that in recent years I haven't personally used what I've got because I feel like they're a security risk because they're worth so much now, irrelevant of what I paid for them back in day dot. They're worth so much now that I feel they're a security risk. But also I wouldn't buy any more. Even if I saw one, I think, in a colourway that stole my heart and kept me up at night, I would struggle to justify spending that kind of money on them, particularly like the jumbo size or even the maxi size. I just would struggle to do it. I don't love them enough anymore to spend that kind of money. Right, the next item, and I should have investigated this before I spoke to you about it, but you know this bag, it's from Saint Laurent, and it's that, what was the name of it? oh, do you know what? I wish I'd found this out before I spoke to you. But anyway, that bag, I tortured myself over that. Do you know why? Because, do you know, I did a video a couple of weeks ago where or last week, where I spoke about things I've bought that I've been influenced to buy. This was a bag that I was that close to buying because I was influenced to buy it, because I was seeing it all over Instagram. And I don't know whether, I can't remember, you know, where I was seeing it, I feel like it was a gifted product to influencers who were then making it look amazing. So I could be wrong about that, but I remember it being like a sponsored thing, but I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do remember some people were given them, I feel like. And I was very tempted to get them because of how I was seeing them styled. I was seeing them and I was like, oh wow, they look amazing. But the thing that put me off it was the size of it. So it's so large that I think I personally would find it quite a frustrating bag to use. Well, I know I would, because all of my stuff would be like rolling around in the bottom of it. And I've gone off it now, and I don't really like that massive logo on the front of it either. So I'm really glad I didn't buy it. I'm glad that I left it the amount of time that I did. Hermes, right? So as a lot of you know, I have been looking at Hermes recently, and I'm going to tell you something you might be surprised to hear. So I've been looking at Hermes, but specifically Pre-Loved, because with the exception of the Constance now, which is the bag I want, which I'll come on to in 1 second. Actually, I'll talk about that now. I know that the Constance is now not a quota bag, so I know that if I walk in store and if they have it and if it's in the colour I want, that I can go ahead and buy that, technically speaking, I know. And I've had a lot of you DM me and email me to tell me that, and thank you so much. Yes, I know that's the case. But when it comes to the Birkin and the Kelly, they're bags that I admire, but they're not bags that I would buy. And when I've been to Luxury Promise, for example, and I've shown them to you, I've had a lot of you saying, I thought you didn't like those bags though, why are you trying to buy them? And I'm like, I'm not trying to buy them. I'm showing them to you so that you can see what's available. And you know, it's like with the videos I do, I show a lot of things that I wouldn't buy, but I show them to you because you might want to buy them. And that's really why I show those bags, is not because I'm thinking, I'm going to go and buy one, Pre-Loved or not. I'm just showing you what there is out there so that it might be of interest to you. But the Constance is different. That is a bag that I would think of. But as I said, back in September, I think it was, in a video I did, I am still shopping, but not on the level that I was. And I would rather spend £10,000 on a really amazing trip than on a bag. Okay, the other thing is this Ugg boot trend. You know how Ugg boots have come back in again? I don't know how many of you from the UK remember this, but do you remember the Jack Wills paired with Ugg boots thing? I lived in that. Do you remember the Jack Wills? They did these jumpers that had blue and pink stripes across them, quite thick stripes. I used to wear those with skinny jeans and Ugg boots. That was my thing, and like a massive hobo bag, normally Juicy Couture or something. And Ugg boots are back again. They're like back in, but the slipper versions. And I was actually on the tube the other day, and this girl got in, and I swear she was wearing slippers, but I don't think they were. And I will confess, there was a point where I was like, should I buy some Ugg boots? Because they were really comfortable and very warm. And I wasn't thinking about getting the slipper types, I was thinking about getting the actual boot type. And then I thought, no, let's not do that. Let's leave that back in 2009, 2010, whenever it was. Let's leave it back then. That's just my personal thoughts. But no, I'm not buying Ugg boots. This next one is like a bit of a difficult one for me because it's a current bag. It's probably actually sold out now, you know, but it's the Lady Dior in the new butterfly collection, well, the cruise collection that's butterfly themed. So they have this bag out, and you can get it in black or white, and it's got gold metal butterflies all over it. And where the charm is, where it says Dior, there's like a butterfly hanging, and the butterfly's got like a little pearl off it, and it's the most beautiful bag. But I think it's £5,000, maybe a tad over. It's definitely 5k. And when it came out, I and it only came out a few weeks ago, I was just like, oh my God, this is the most stunning bag I've ever seen in my life. I love the Lady Dior. It's a bag that I reach for more than anything I've got. The bags that I reach for are, if I want a designer bag, I go Lady Dior Ultra Matte in the black. If I want something that's non-designer, I go Coach, Senreve. What else? I go for the bag, like Lululemon is another brand that I go for. There are a few brands that I tend to gravitate to. Even my Urban Revivo bags, I'll go to those if I want a bag that's not super expensive. But with this bag, I just knew, because it only goes up to the size small, or in the D-Joy, which is like, you know, the rectangle one that's not very deep, I just thought, I know I'm not going to use it. I'd be buying it, yes, because I love it, but I know deep down it's not a bag that I would use because it's not big enough for all of my stuff. I've really changed over the years. I carry around a lot more with me now than I used to. And that's why I go for larger size bags now, although not as big as that YSL one. That's like too big for me. Now for some jewellery items. And two of them are things that I've spoken to you about before. So Van Cleef Arpels. I'm so glad that, you know, the Alhambra range, which is gorgeous. Right, here's the thing. As with a few things, it's not that I don't like them, but I have my reasons for not buying them. So with the Van Cleef range, the Alhambra range, I actually really like it. And I already know if I was going to buy anything from that range, I know what I'd go for. I've already thought about it. I've already looked. I already know what I'd go for. And you know, if I'm really honest, I actually looked at the Alhambra range back in 2016 before it was kind of everywhere. And if I was going to do it, I would have done it back then, but I didn't. And I don't know why I didn't do it back then, but my reasons now for not buying into it are that I feel it's kind of everywhere, and that alone is not a bad thing. But I see it so frequently that it doesn't feel special to me anymore. And you also see a massive amount of fakes. Oh my gosh, like they're all over Amazon, they're all over eBay. I pop into like a local store and I see them on the counter, like fake Van Cleef Arpels, just brazenly sold, like casually sold. And it makes it not special anymore for me. I think, why would I go and spend £5 on, or however much they are now, on a pair of earrings or a necklace, like a single, you know, the single little charm necklace, when the shop down the road selling identical fake ones? Identical. I just, it puts me off. The fake thing puts me off, but the seeing it everywhere also puts me off. Now, this leads me on to my next item that I've never bought, which is another item I've told you about before, and it's the Love bracelet from Cartier. Again, I really like it. I looked at this bracelet back in 2016, 2017. I can't remember why I didn't do it, but I wouldn't buy it now. I feel with a lot of this stuff, you know, whether it's Van Cleef, whether it's Cartier, whether it's Chanel bags, I feel that they make you a target. Whether you're wearing a fake one or not, I feel like it makes you a target because people recognise it. Particularly those Cartier bracelets, and you can't get them off without the screwdriver. There are people in London being robbed blind for watches and God knows what else. And I always say, I don't want to scare anyone, but this is another reason why I, even if I owned it, probably wouldn't wear it that much, you know that. You know, I see people that have stacks of them up their arm. It looks cool, but wow, security risk on a major scale right there. That's just how I think. And again, with the Cartier Love bracelets, a bit like with the Van Cleef, I feel like because I see them everywhere, they don't feel special. And yeah, that's kind of why I haven't bought into them. And then the final brand, which I'm torn on actually, is Tiffany Co. Now, the things that I'm glad I didn't buy from there that I was looking at, you know, the silver chunky necklaces with the Return to Tiffany Co heart on them. I was looking to buy one of those and a matching bracelet several years ago, and I didn't do it, and I'm glad I didn't do it. But I feel as though Tiffany are coming out with some really cute bracelets right now that are going the same way as Van Cleef Arpels and Cartier, where they're becoming like everyone's got them and soon the fakes will be out there. And this is what I'm talking about, this bracelet here. When I first saw it, I was like, oh my God, I really, really would like that. But again, the security thing comes into my head and I think, Sophie, would you wear it around London? No, you wouldn't. So what's the point in getting it? It's just something that sits at home and it's like a massive risk. I don't even wear my decent watch out into London now. I either don't wear a watch or I wear one of my other watches in my collection that are not expensive at all but still look really nice. I just don't do it. So I think a lot of the things that I'm not buying, when I summarise this, are for two reasons. First of all, I've changed. I no longer want to give hard-earned money to things that I don't feel look the value. But also I'm thinking about security now. I'm thinking more about when you go out, you don't want to be a target. If you go out and you've got all your bracelets up your arm and you've got your Chanel bag and you're looking really flash, you might look amazing, but I just worry about security with that. You know, you hear all sorts of stories in London and I do not want to get involved with any of that. So when I go out, I really don't really wear anything of any value now. And as I say, God willing, nothing's ever happened, but I just don't do it. That I think that the thing that I carry that's of most value is probably my ultra matte Lady Dior. But let me tell you, that bag is beaten up now. It's even got a marker pen on it by accident. That bag is a trooper. I love it. I will always use it. And it's probably the most expensive thing I carry. But I think even a thief would be like, ugh, it's in such bad condition. It just doesn't look fresh anymore, but that's fine. You know, I love it, even though it doesn't look fresh, and it's something that I'll always use. But they are my 10 things that I don't regret not buying, and they're my reasons for it. If you've enjoyed this and you want to join me in another video, I'm going to link to one here and here. But otherwise, I'm going to do another video tomorrow. So check back. I'm doing a video every day through Christmas. So if you want more videos, hopefully you're going to enjoy these. Thank you, and I will see you tomorrow.